This is Ron Ledger, Digital Director of Ohio.com. I'm with Jason Lloyd, our Cavs beat reporter, getting ready to start the NBA Finals tomorrow out in California. Jason, you fly out tonight to head out for the trip, right?
Yeah, leaving about 5 hours, 6 hours.
Looking forward to the first NBA Finals?
Insane. Obviously this team's been awful since I've come on, so we'll see. The media is worldwide, 2,000 credentials or so, and it's quite the circus. So looking forward to it.
Good. Well, we'll start off with there's a lot of injuries this NBA playoffs for all the teams, but we're down to the final two here. So you got Kyrie still struggling with his knee, and then you got Curry, who kind of one of the hardest falls I've ever seen a player take in the last series, and then Klay Thompson. So what do we expect in game one with all three of those guys?
I think they're all going to play. Though, Klay Thompson's supposed to be cleared today, actually, from the concussion. The most curious one to me is Kyrie, and I found it odd that David Blatt said yesterday that progress was slow, and I just wonder the condition to be able to power through this and play or not. He said he intends to play every game. We're not going to have this will he or won't he that we had with the Hawks, where he missed 2 of the 4 games. But it's the whole thing is strange. The whole knee situation for Kyrie is strange because damage. They've taken all the MRIs. They flew him down to meet with Dr. James Andrews in Florida to show him that there's nothing structurally wrong with the knee. He can't further damage it by playing. It's just tendonitis, and tendonitis can be very painful. I don't mean to downplay it, but other guys have played through it, and Kyrie's just got to get to a point where he can manage the pain, where he can play through it.
Right. How about the two for the Warriors there with Curry okay from that fall?
Yeah, Curry's fine. He's still in the concussion protocol program, but he should be cleared out. No one in Golden State seems to believe he's going to miss any time. He has to be cleared by an independent doctor, and that could come as early as today. So I think that they'll have everybody available to them.
All right. Well, Curry, obviously, MVP of the league this year, presents a lot of challenges on defense and his ability to run the pick and roll. There's been a lot of talk that even if Kyrie was healthy, he was going to struggle on the defensive end with Curry. So how do you see that going?
Yeah, I don't think Kyrie's going to last very long on Steph on the defensive end. That's one of the more fascinating plots to this whole thing for my money is what are the Cavs going to, because Klay Thompson's not much better of a matchup than Steph is for him. And if you want to drop him all the way down to Harrison Barnes at the 3, that exposes the Cavs to Barnes maybe taking him into the post a little bit. In the Bulls series, they were able to hide him on Mike Dunleavy because Dunleavy's fairly slow, more or less a perimeter shooter. So it was an easy hide. It's not going to be that way in this series. I would suspect Iman Shumpert is going to defend Steph Curry a fair amount. Toward the end of the games, LeBron's probably going to pick him up. The Cavs don't want to use LeBron on him the entire game. It's too exhausting for him to try and carry the load that he has to offensively and chase Steph around defensively for 40 minutes. So right. I think that they're going to hold that. That's the ace in the hole that they'll bring out in the fourth quarter when they need stops. I would expect Iman Shumpert and Dellavedova when he's out there to probably get the bulk of the time on Steph. The Cavs will probably start with Kyrie on him, but I don't think it's going to last very long.
I know there's been a lot of talk with how he plays the pick and roll, and you've written a few times how much Blatt likes using Tristan Thompson and his ability to switch and things like that. Is Tristan going to see more minutes because of that in this series?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Cavs' best lineup is probably the 3 guards, LeBron on the post and Tristan in the middle. You look at a guy like Andrew Bogut and think that for Timo Mozgov, and that may be, but we saw in the Toronto series, the game against the Raptors earlier in the season, where the Raptors went to Valanciunas in the fourth quarter, and Blatt countered by using Tristan for exactly what you said, because the way that he likes to play the pick and rolls, he likes to switch everything, and you can't really switch with Timo, or when Kevin Love was healthy, it was a tough switch for them to put those guys on a guard. Tristan's very comfortable doing that. He's defended a lot of guards over the course of the season, from Tony Parker to Chris Paul. We saw it with Jeff Teague and Derrick Rose in these playoffs a little bit earlier. So he's okay doing that. And the Cavs have a lot of defenders about the same size and athletic ability. So that's the way that they prefer to play the pick and roll. Mozgov's certainly going to get his minutes. he's been very erratic to me in these playoffs. He's had some games where he was awful. So I just think that, you know, it won't be the starting lineup, but you know, I would suspect that the Cavs closing lineup would be, you know, J.R. Smith, Iman Shumpert, and Kyrie if he can go with LeBron in the post, and more than likely Tristan at center.
Is this a series where I know you obviously you miss a player Kevin Love's caliber no matter what, but is this a series where he'd really be valuable in spacing and things like that, and also on the defensive end, rebound ability, all those type of things?
Yeah, sure. You know, Tristan Thompson and Timo playing next to each other is not ideal. I've been impressed by how well they've played together in the postseason, but it's not ideal, particularly in a series like this, where Kevin's ability to stretch the floor and open driving lanes could really be useful for the Cavs. But you know, I think that they've adjusted to life without him, and they've obviously flourished without him. You know, I think if you'd have told anyone when he went running off the floor against the Celtics, if you'd have told him, you know, Kevin's out for the rest of the postseason and Kyrie's going to be hampered, but this team's still going to get to the finals, people never would have believed you. And that's a credit to LeBron. It's a credit to coaching. It's a credit to the defensive ability of this team. But they haven't seen the team that can score the ball like the Warriors can. And, you know, they've done a nice job defending in the East throughout this run. And they did a nice job of holding the Hawks down. But the Hawks were kind of unraveling even before that series began. And Kyle Korver was really struggling with a shot before that series. And then obviously he was injured. And, you know, the Cavs are going to be challenged more to defend this three-point line in this series than they have at any other point. And they've done it before. I mean, they beat the Warriors handily at home in January when they really had things rolling. So, you know, it can be done. It's just going to be certainly the greatest task that they've had yet.
And we've talked a lot about what the Warriors challenge presents and challenges and so forth. What do the Cavs present against the Warriors? What's going to be the thing that they most have a difficult time with whenever the Cavs are going on full tilt?
Well, it starts and ends with LeBron, obviously. Now the Warriors' advantage is they have multiple guys they can throw at him, whereas in the past, you know, it was Jimmy Butler's responsibility. It was DeMar Carroll's responsibility primarily to guard LeBron. The Warriors can throw Andre Iguodala, Harrison Barnes, Draymond Green. They've got a variety of guys that they can throw on him and rotate on him that can help A, give him different looks, and B, keep guys fresh and not wear them out by chasing them around the whole time. But ultimately, LeBron's still the best player on the floor. I understand Steph's the MVP this year, but LeBron James is still the best player in the game. And, you know, I've said all postseason, the Cavs hold the hammer. And when you have the hammer, you have the advantage. And, you know, particularly with Kyrie being limited, the Warriors may have the next 2 or 3 best players on the court after LeBron, but the Cavs still have the best player on the floor at all times. And that's significant. And so just, you know, it's why I keep going back and forth in this series, because it's hard to see the Cavs beating the Warriors 4 times. But yet again, I have a hard time thinking that the Warriors can beat the Cavs, can beat LeBron 4 times. He said yesterday, this is the best he's been in his career. This is the best he's played when you combine everything. Certainly he's not his athletic peak anymore. But when you combine what is left of his athleticism along with his mental aspect of the game, his overall game, when you put it all together, he feels like this is the best that he's played in his career, and it's hard to argue with him.
Yeah, folks ask me too, what are you thinking? And I just keep coming back to LeBron seems really on. You know, he seems healthy, seems ready to go, and kind of what he just said there, like this is kind of the best he's felt, and you can see it. So yeah, I kind of agree with you that he presents the biggest challenge as always, and that's not going to change for a while.
Right.
2 more questions. One being, what Warrior player out there that the Cavs fans may not know very much about, since the West Coast team, things like that they're going to get to know pretty quickly in the series besides the stars? Who would that player be?
Well, Draymond Green's a guy who's really come on this season. Certainly, I think a lot of people probably heard of him by now. He was first team all defensive team this year. His mom doesn't like me very much. She tweeted me and told me to jump in the lake with cement boots on because I had to put him on either of my defensive teams. But he's a guy who really fits their system well, and he's going to make a lot of money this summer. And I just wonder if he leaves the Warriors, what kind of situation he's going to walk into. He's a bit undersized to be a power forward, but his motor, he plays hard. He irritates a lot of opponents, and he is a good defender. And that's a guy you're going to hear a lot about. You know, he's not one of the Splash Brothers, but he's the guy you're going to hear a lot about here in the coming weeks. Andrew Bogut's a guy certainly the defensive anchor to that team. Yeah, I just feel like Klay Thompson and Steph Curry get all the headlines and the spotlight with that team being the Splash Brothers and all they do offensively. But there's so much more to the Warriors than that, and they're such a good defensive team this year overall. You get a guy like Festus Ezeli, who was a late first round pick a couple years ago, and yeah, intelligent guy, really sharp guy. I spent some time with him at the combine a couple years ago.
He's from Vanderbilt, right?
What's that?
He's from Vanderbilt, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
He came from, I want to say like Senegal or somewhere like that. Just highly intelligent, really sharp guy, very well spoken. Really enjoyed talking to him. He's a rotational big. He's going to play, his 15, 20 minutes a night in the post. He's going to rebound for him. Not a big offensive threat, but he's gonna get in there and give Bogut some breathers. Barbosa's another guy. Leandro Barbosa's another guy. Just another role guy, bench guy who's going to come in and fill some minutes. So this team has, and obviously Andre Iguodala, former All-Star who's now coming off the bench. Steve Kerr switched things up and put Harrison Barnes back in the starting lineup and brought Iguodala off the bench, and it's worked well for them. He's been a huge boost to them. So the Warriors certainly are the deeper team, I think, but in the finals you don't go beyond really seven players. So it'd be interesting to see, first of all, how deep into the bench the Warriors go, or if they tend to cut it short like a lot of other teams do. So some of that depth may be nullified in this series, but certainly I think I would take the Warriors bench and the Warriors depth over what the Cavs can provide.
All right. Well, the last question then's got to be, what do you see? What are you thinking? How many games and who's going to win?
This is so hard. Obviously everyone keeps asking me that, and it's a toss-up to me. I keep saying if the Cavs are going to win this, they have to do it in 6 because LeBron or no LeBron, Oracle Arena is one of the most difficult places in the league to play. The crowd is fantastic. They lost twice there during the regular season and once in the postseason, and that's it. The Cavs are obviously, if they're going to win the series, they got to get one out of Oracle. But I just think that the Cavs would be better served trying to close this out in 6 at home rather than get it back to Golden State for a Game 7. So, I think they're going to be great games. I think they're going to be tightly contested. I think it's going to be a great series. But if the Cavs can come home in a closeout position to win this at home in Game 6, I like their odds to do so. I'll take LeBron at home in a closeout game. But if it's a situation where it's like, they're down 3-2 and they've got to play 6 to get to 7, I don't know that they can beat Golden State on the road at Oracle in a Game 7 situation. So, I guess I'm going to take the easy way out and say if the Cavs are in a position to close out at home in 6, then the Cavs are going to win it in 6. And if the Warriors get it to a Game 7, then I'll take them in a Game 7 at home. I'm picking the Cavs in 6 for the paper. I sent that in last night, but boy, I don't know. It's hard to pick against the Warriors given the way that they've played and all that they've done this year. But on the flip side, like I said, it's hard to pick against LeBron.
Right. Well, thanks for joining me, Jason, and definitely enjoy yourself on this. It's been a long ride here. Some bad teams, and now you get to go to the finals. For all you watching, you can get Jason on Twitter at JasonLloydABJ. Also, you can follow him along on Ohio.com at ohio.com/sports/Cavs. So, again, thanks for joining me, Jason, and have a fun time.
Thanks, Ron.
All right. Take care.